stop talking and then they just read and play, and it's really magical to watch. And then they just have that, and then, you know, transitioning into reading traditional sheet music, all of our music is on the staff. It's appropriately spaced, so if you take away the colors and just draw it black, a professional musician would be able to read this, and they'll be able to read it too as they age up into elementary school.
Wow, that's amazing. That is awesome. What is your vision to be part of Rock and Roll Daycare? How would you, career-wise, what would that look like?
I don't know. Well, I think I would like to be able to facilitate whatever that means, and whatever, you know, I think that I would love to see early childhood music education spread. I think it's a field.
No one does this, right?
No one really does this, and that's what we've noticed, and that's been the difficulty in hiring staff, which is that typically if you're thinking of like music education for children, that would start at like 5 or 6, maybe 4 at the earliest. But there's really nobody who's doing from infancy until kindergarten. And so I've noticed there's like this weird gap, right? There's this gap between classroom teachers and finding dynamic music outside of like maybe the 10 standard preschool songs, Bingo, Wheels on the Bus, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, There Hail the Lamb. There's not really a lot of resources for them. Baby Shark is the new one, right? There's not really a lot to inspire them to like reach out and try different melodies and different genre outside of that. On the other side, in terms of music teachers and musicians, a lot of music teachers and musicians are really scared and terrified when it comes to teaching this age group. They're like, I don't know what to do. They can't really follow directions. They don't really know how to, you know, have a verbal command. They can't just play an instrument and play this and do that, and they just can't function like that.
You're showing them, you're proving that differently, though.
Well, traditionally, I think music teachers don't really know how to do that with standard music notation. And so this acts as a bridge to help musicians be able to have something, a resource that they can interact with and teach out of for young kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just out of curiosity, these are Montessori books in the Music Lab.
Well, we publish all this through Fiddle Fox. This was our first name, Montessori Music Lab, and then we decided against it because
You guys created this.
we did. Yeah.
That's all proprietary IP.
Yes, that's all.
This
from
is
Fiddle-
all
that's
it's all
Fiddle Fox.
copyrighted. It's
Fiddle Fox is our sister organization.
yeah.
This
It's all
is
proprietary.
Proprietary too?
These bells are not manufactured by us. This is made by a company called Rhythm Band Instruments. I think they're manufactured in China. There's another program that does a similar thing called Preschool Prodigies that also uses a bell set, but they do a lot of like video work. So it's kind of like Guitar Hero. I think that's great and it works for a lot of people. Personally, I feel like sticking kids in front of a screen and telling them to play music is not my vision of music making.
Did you decide who's...
I have an illustrator.
We have an illustrator in Mexico City named Gabriela who does all the illustrations.
Okay, the illustrations, but I'm talking about the songwriting,
Yeah, well, the songs are all traditional songs that I curate, and then I do all the translations into English, and I do all the arrangements into the rainbow, the reductions, and the notation. And then Gabby does the illustrations, and then each song also comes with
I'm understanding something. I'm
Great.
connecting some values.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see where, yeah.
And then Mark is our music producer, and so he produces all of the tracks in New York, and so you can listen to all the songs on Spotify. And that's the other part of this program, is that we have really high quality kids music recordings, because if you have been in a car with a child and have listened to children's radio for any prolonged amount of time, it's rough. So we wanted to...
pretty crazy, isn't
copy
it?
of
This
our
is-
most recent one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The international thing is so cool because it
Yeah.
exposes to different cultures. And,
Well, you know, that's
so
The pictures,
cool.
you got the picture, you got the artistry, and then you got the language system.
I know.
Yeah, and
It's-
that's the thing too. That's
Taking a
sort of
song that they know here, and a song that they already know in English, but then transferring it. Their minds have to be
Right.
the evolvement that's taking place. in
Right.
this.
There's so much that's going on in the brain, and there's so much research that